Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account from the True Off My Chest and Relationship Advice subreddit, and it says, I 25 female have face blindness. My boyfriend, 24 male, likes to test me. How do I make it clear that this is not okay? Now, also just to say, we did cover this story about a year ago, but since there's been multiple updates added to this story, but I'm going to cover the original parts as usual. So if you do want to skip certain parts, please do use the timestamps along the timeline and the description below. Thank you. Hi y'all, sorry for posting this. If it's not okay, I can delete it. I've been with my boyfriend for almost a year now. I love him dearly, and he loves me too, I'm guessing. But there's one thing that's causing a lot of issues for us. I suffer from prosopagnosia/face blindness, which means it's really hard for me to recognize people's faces. I usually go by other characteristics to put a name to a person, like hairstyle, facial hair, marks, skin colors, accessories, etc. But it's still really tough. It caused me severe anxiety and other mental health struggles. I'm lucky to have wonderful people around me though, who are aware and try to help. They'll introduce themselves when we start talking, where's something they know I've linked to them or whatever. Usually my boyfriend does this too, but sometimes he likes to test me and it's incredibly stressful. He shaved off his beard once. A few times he wore a completely different style of clothing or changed his hairstyle, all without warning me. In those moments, he won't tell me who he is or say someone else's name, just to see if I figure out it's him. He'll make jokes saying he'll try to switch with one of his friends and see if I'll stay loyal. I usually do realize it's him, but it causes me a lot of anxiety. We've had big fights on this. He says he's allowed to change his look. I'm not a cartoon character. I asked him to warn me. Don't get me wrong, he cares about me, but I don't think he gets how stressful it is. How do I make it clear? We have a lot of great times together. There's just this bump. Hats and Top Coat says, say this. I want to be 100% clear on this. Taking advantage of my disability to trick me is not okay. You know that's what you are doing, and it's insulting when you expect me to believe that you're not doing that. It's extremely upsetting to me, and I don't know why you'd want me to feel anxious and terrible. If you care about my feelings, you will stop doing this. If that doesn't make him stop, then you need to stop telling yourself, oh, he just doesn't realize that this bothers me, even though I've told him repeatedly that it bothers me. When you've made your feelings incredibly clear, the answer is not that he doesn't understand, it's that he doesn't care because he'd rather fuck with you for his own amusement. I hope you replied saying fair enough, thank you for replying. I'm not looking forward to having this kind of conversation with him, but it is needed. Revised Thoughts replies to that saying, not feeling comfortable talking about how his behaviour affects you is a red flag in itself. You might want to think about this. You aren't even saying anything that would be embarrassing for him, just stating your needs to be comfortable and how he can help you with that. Isn't that exactly something you'd want to know from him and be thankful for him sharing? Just give it some thought. It sounds like you might be so used to skirting around his sensitivities and ignoring your own that you can't even express your feelings to your significant other in case. Hope he said I spoke to him. Tried to stay rational about it all. It was tough. I think my relationship is over. String Top says, I'm sorry you're being treated like this, OP. I had a friend/co-worker many years ago who had face blindness. Whenever I saw her in person, I casually said, hi name, it's my name. Because I could see the relief on her face every time I did that. She knew that she would never have to guess whether or not she was talking to me. There was a tiny thing that I could do that created a foundation for trust and care. And that is a thing that decent humans do for the people we care about. Small things to make each other's lives a little less hard and stressful. Decent humans don't engage in ableist pranks that they've been told cause harm. You deserve to be with someone who wants to make your life easier and less stressful. Your boyfriend could choose to do something really easy. Not play stupid games and always just tells you it's him, to establish himself as a reliably safe person. Why would he not do that? Another commenter says to OP, sounds a bit red flaggish to me. He's checking to make sure you'll stay loyal by using his friends, knowing you have face blindness and how anxious it makes you. He changes his appearance without letting you know. Shit, me and my boyfriend don't have face blindness, but we will still let each other know. Hey, I'm getting a haircut. Hey, I got new shirt or shoes, etc. I'm not saying it's a must in a relationship, but why wouldn't you let your partner know? You need to sit him down and give him an ultimatum. If he wants to continue to stress you out like this, then he can leave the relationship, or he can stop stressing you out. Which he should know it does after being together for a year, and act like a normal couple and just let you know things. And someone quoted the testing to stay loyal again and says, "This is so fucking icky. It's one thing for a couple to crack jokes about a disability or quirk that's been established as okay to joke about, but this is clearly not it. Is he ever like this about anything else? With other people? I think you should take a hard look at his behaviour because I doubt the negativity stops with your face blindness. Normal, nice people don't do this, dude." And there was many people on the back of this one just expressing how much this is not okay and that this really needs to be talked about and settled immediately. But for me, it just felt way more extreme than that. I know it's considered a very sort of Reddity thing to go straight to the breakup, but holy shit, his behavior in this. Look, he knows you have face blindness, he knows how it affects you, and of course, he's still entitled to change his look, his appearance, etc. But testing you? Pretending to be someone else? Joking about switching with friends to test your loyalty? That's fucked up. That's him actively using your disability to mess with you for his own entertainment or to test you or whatever messed up thing he's doing. It's crazy. But OP came in with their first update which said, "It's hard to imagine I made this post 19 hours ago and now I'm in the middle of breaking up with him. I'm very tired, so I'm going to keep this short. I went to talk to him, showed him this and told him he can't do it anymore. The conversation was a lot. First he was angry I made this post. Then he was angry I was taking it all so serious. Lots of apologies and so on. He again said he was just trying to make a tough situation more light. I said it's too much. He said I can't take a joke and I need to let him be him. That he always tells me when he's been joking and if he was really keen on hurting me, he'd just do things and not tell me. So him telling proves he cares." That one got me very uncomfortable. At one point he said he just wanted to test if it was real, because I could just be using it as an excuse to do anything. I left after that because we were just going in circles. There was a lot of me making an issue of one small thing. I'm exhausted. He's still blowing up my phone with love and apologies, but you guys made me realize a lot. Thanks, really. I'm trying to stay rational about it, but it's hard, because I do care about him a lot. I'm going to get a few hours of sleep. Thank you again. 4 days later, OP updates again and says, "Hi y'all, hope it's okay to post a little update. Things went batshit crazy. A lot has happened in the last days. I'm really grateful to you all. Honestly, I wasn't aware about the real meaning of his pranks and what it said about him and our relationship. I went to talk to him the same evening I made that post, with the intention of making it clear he can't pull all that anymore. The conversation escalated. We talked for hours into the night and every day since. There's been a lot of messages. He got angry about the Reddit post I made. I showed him. Angry at you guys. Angry that I couldn't take a joke and listen to strangers. Said things like he in the beginning didn't believe I actually suffered from it and would use it as an excuse to cheat on him. That's how he does believe, but due to bad breakups in the past, he has a hard time trusting I won't use it as an excuse regardless. Said he was joking about it because he wanted to make a tough situation lighter and that's just his sense of humor. That if I loved him, I'd accept that. When I made it clear I was done, it got even worse. He began apologizing a lot. Said he didn't realize it was such a big thing for me. Again, didn't make any sense with all said before. In the same breath he said that at least he told me, to the people who thought he actually planned to trick me by using one of his friends. I think y'all may be very right. To be honest, I was done. I do care about him a lot. Can't just shut that off, but it's never going to work. There's been many messages, calls, etc. He dropped some vague hints that sometimes he pulled pranks I wasn't aware of. I don't know if that is true or he's just in a bad place right now. He also came to my place to apologize again, but I suspect he didn't expect I'd immediately recognize him, as he didn't apologize till I said his name. He's not evil, but just very messed up right now. I blocked him everywhere, told him not to show up anymore and that a friend would give him his stuff. I'm going to delete this account soon, but I wanted to thank you guys for helping me realize it. I genuinely don't think I would have. I'm heartbroken, but a bit relieved as well. Thanks for all the support and kindness. So it was 3 months later that OP came in again and says, we broke up nearly 3 months ago. It wasn't pretty. There was a lot of things not right between us. Among other things, he kept messing/joking with the fact that I have a severe case of face blindness. I wasn't perfect in this relationship either, by the way. Not trying to make him the villain. Usually I go by voice, obvious traits and so on. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of wonderful people around me who will introduce themselves once we start talking, warn me if they change their looks, or even get/wear something that'll help me, like my dad who got a tattoo just for me. But it's still hard and gives me so much anxiety, so maybe I'm imagining it all. I stayed with my parents and wee cousins for a while after the breakup, but since I'm home, I feel like he's still around. The first time I went to a club with a friend and her boyfriend. Started dancing with a guy and went outside with him to get some air. The moment we stepped outside and I heard his voice, I knew it was him. I was so sure. I freaked, went inside again and left with my friend. I messaged him later and he denied it vehemently, telling me he was not even near there. That we can meet up and talk if I want. My friend said she's not sure. She was off with her boyfriend and didn't see him. So maybe I'm wrong. My gut says it was him, but I can't trust my brain with these things. There's been more incidents like this since. If I go out, sometimes I just feel like he's there. Like I'll see a guy focused on me and will know it's him, but he'll deny it. Or someone will come to my job and recognize the voice, but he responds so confused and I feel like a crazy person making a scene. So I just quietly give him what he needs. I go to the grocery store and a guy will suddenly be next to me. He won't even say anything to me, but the smell and traits tell me it's him. But then later, he denies it all. It's not every day or something. Once a week, maybe not even that, but it's enough to make me feel so on edge. The thing is, I could be wrong. Maybe it was never him. I don't go out a lot anymore, unless I'm with someone. I keep my phone in my hand in hopes of snapping a picture to show my friends, looking into how to get a camera. I don't know what else to do really. I'm afraid if I talk to others about it, they'll simply dismiss it. At the same time, he's still messaging me, just as kindly as when we first started dating. He said he's worried about me, that he wants to help, and I just feel like I'm going crazy. Maybe I am. And there's another couple of updates in a minute, but a couple of the top comments on this one said, I also have face blindness, and if your gut is so sure, then it must be because we did compensate by recognizing people in other ways. If you feel that it happens again, take your phone and film the surrounding. Don't hide it. If he suddenly pops up and says, hi, you were right, and if not, you can always check it later with a friend what triggered this kind of perception, because it seems that it was a toxic relationship, and there is a change that you were traumatized and a gesture could trigger your brain. If someone asks you why you are filming the surroundings, just explain the person, the situation, and that you'll delete the clip later. Every sane person will understand the problem. Also, if you have a friend not being far, you can ask the person, if they obviously have a problem with it. So just wait for your friend and delete the video in front of them after getting the help. Another user says, knowing your history with your ex being a jerk, I have no doubt that it's him continuing to mess with you. I agree, blocking your ex again is key. Stop giving him the communication he desperately wants from you. But until you're able to catch him via pic or friend, just know that I believe you're right. Many people here do. If he messed with you for fun, he's definitely escalating for revenge. I'm so sorry you have to keep dealing with him. Another commenter says, I think it's more likely that he's messing with you than that you're imagining it, especially since you feel like you're going crazy. That's a common feeling to get from gaslighting. You probably can't know for sure without taking a picture to show a friend or having someone with you who can verify that it's him, or not. Until then, maybe it would help to stop talking to your ex. If he is messing with you, him talking to you is only part of his weird game, and if not, it will probably help to get him out of your mind as much as possible. And one more comment from Feral Coffee Addict who says, oh my god, I remember you from your previous posts. Honestly, with how your ex behaved and what he did to you before, you are not imagining this. He's absolutely exactly the type of person to do exactly this, and it's fucking disturbing. Get pics of him and send them to friends to confirm. As soon as you have that confirmation, contact the lawyer and find out about sending an official cease and desist letter to him, and then cut all contact. If he continues from there, then discuss further actions with your lawyer if you possibly can afford it. Opie adds another smaller update and says, I have quite a severe case of face blindness, but have my own ways to get around, like all of us. But still, I can never be completely sure who's in front of me until they confirm it. I'm sure you know the feeling. Now, I've had wonderful people in my life who make it so much easier for me. But have you had people who don't do that? My previous boyfriend messed with me sometimes, and I sometimes worry he might still be. But it's hard to be sure. But I can't trust what I see. Sometimes I'm so sure it's him, but he'd deny it, and I can never convince myself to be 100% certain of what I saw. Do you have any things you did to deal with people who mess with you? Or didn't you take your prosopagnosia serious? Opie comes in with another update and says, First, thanks to the mods for allowing me to post this update. I don't know if anyone will see this, but I keep getting messages about this, very kind ones, for which I'm grateful. And thought I'd just do a wee update. I'm not in the best place mentally, so I'll keep this short. This will also be my last one, as I've taken plenty of your time as is, and don't really know what to do with the attention, though I'm extremely appreciative of all the support and advice. I posted here a while ago about how I wasn't sure if my ex was messing with me and my face blindness, or if I was just being paranoid. I now know it's both. I really did feel like a crazy person. The day I made the post, I broke off contact with him again. I got a few more messages from him, all kind and concerned-ish. Even some mutual friends, and one girl I barely know, reached out saying that they were worried because of what my ex told them. But here's the thing. I did manage to subtly make 2 videos, 2 different times in which my parents could clearly see him. Honestly, I was an absolute mess. Since then, I've also been staying with my parents again and took a break from work. We're trying to look into a restraining order, but it's not that easy. There's some redemption though. R, a friend, did what I didn't have the balls to do and completely exposed him. Got some very angry messages from my ex after, in which he, amongst other things, said he just happened to be in the same place. But now I'm making him out to be some kind of stalker because of my insecurities. Doesn't explain why he didn't just say it was him though, or how it happened at least twice in less than 2 weeks. That's where we're at right now. I wish I could tell you more. I'm kind of stuck right now. I have no proof about the previous times. Even more so, there's been months in the past where I also thought it was him, and it wasn't. Either confirmed by video or because I wasn't alone. And there's been some times in the last weeks where I didn't manage to get any recordings or photos. Though I am relieved to have some answers. I'm also heartbroken. I don't know how to process knowing there's people that abuse my flaws in this way. I feel incredibly paranoid and it's exhausting. I'm looking into moving away. At the same time, I'm hopeful this is the end of it. That him getting exposed will be the end of this. Multiple people have told him to back off and leave me alone. I'm happy to be home with my parents for now. I'm safe, and thanks for the advice. But one of the comments on the back of all this said, I'm glad your friend outed him, and I really hope this puts a stop to his behaviour. I still check my car and phone for trackers. Or how would he have known where to find you all those times? Or do you have set routines? In case he doesn't stop, do you think that you could get into a frame of mind where you just don't give a fuck if it's him or not? I know it would be hard, but stalkers and abusers feed off the fear they cause. If you take that away from him, he would very likely lose interest. Just pretend he is never there. Instead of being paranoid that he is always there, pretend he lives in a different dimension and couldn't possibly be anywhere you go. So you can act and feel like he isn't there, and just not see and ignore him if he is. Take away his power. And there was also a lot of other comments on the back of this one saying maybe get some sort of GoPro, just glasses with a camera in it, something like that that might just help her going around where she can go back and look at the footage, etc. Get someone else to have a look at it at the same time. And I really do hope that OP is able to get some kind of restraining order against this guy. Like OP said, it's difficult. We've seen it time and time again in these stories, how far these people have to go before they actually get an order to keep them away from them. Shit, I've seen how difficult it is to get these orders in real life. But this guy is an absolute monster. The cruelty of weaponizing someone's face blindness to make them doubt their sanity, the gaslighting while he's stalking them at the same time, is absolute scary behavior. picturing this guy stood there next to her, knowing exactly what he's doing, knowing that she can't recognize him, is terrifying. Good on the friend for outing him though, and I really do hope that he stays away from you, but I would do everything in your power to make sure he does stay away from you at the same time. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Today I Messed Up subreddit from KFJKKFK and says, "Today I effed up, took the term baby shower literally." I'm from Eastern Europe, a country where there's no such tradition. I'm currently in the US and my friend was throwing a baby shower for her cousin. I didn't think to Google what it was and assumed she'd already given birth. So I thought it was some weird American tradition where you have to bathe a baby for the first time. I thought it was really weird, but I didn't ask because I didn't want to be rude. I brought some baby shower gel as a gift, thinking I was doing everything right. But then I came home and saw she was pregnant. I had a 404 error in my brain. And now her relatives are making fun of me. I really thought it was like you come and they bathe the baby for the first time, symbolizing the beginning of something or a milestone. But I didn't understand why they would invite a bunch of people, including those you don't know. OP, that is absolutely sweet. But OP put in their TLDR that they feel extremely dumb, and you shouldn't feel dumb. I think it's a sweet story, to be quite honest. You was kind enough to turn up to your friend's cousin's shower. You thought about the meaning behind it yourself, and although you didn't Google or whatever, you still went and got a gift, which was a really sweet thing to do. And I personally think the whole thing's pretty wholesome, and I would just say again, don't feel dumb. I think what you did was incredibly nice. And just as a little side quest story before we wrap this video up, I spotted this one as I was on the Today I Messed Up subreddit from Macintish, who says, "Today I messed up by sealing wasps in their nest instead of killing them. Obligatory not today. This happened last week, but the after effects are still very much ongoing. We've had a wasp nest in the side of my house for a while now. Last week they stung one of my friends, so it was time to get rid of them. Given the amount of wasps in and out, it seemed like a big nest. To guesstimate the size, I would say a wasp entered or left the nest once a second all day. I didn't want to just squirt poison down the hole. That would just piss them off and not reach most of it. So I decided to seal the nest with expanding foam sealant. I snuck out in the dead of night, and I stuck enough foam in that hole to seal half a construction site. Little did I know how terrible of an idea this was. Apparently there was another exit to the nest, going inside the house. The nest is enormous. Average size for a nest this late in the season is 2,000 to 4,000 wasps. Half of our house is currently inaccessible. I sneak down to the basement at night to change the traps. I keep a vac in hand next to my workstation. Our cats are not happy and they've been locked in a single room and are pissing everywhere to show their discontent. Doing my best Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, I've gone through 7 magazines on the bug assault shotgun, with maybe 40 shots per magazine. These fuckers are armored plated and do not die easily. I've injured my arm pumping the shotgun so many times. I think the most disconcerting thing is how normal it's become. I wake up, grab the shop vac on the 60-foot extension cord, and just clear the house as a matter of routine. It's part of rising and shining for the day. Coffee, breakfast, wasp vacuuming, kiss the wife goodbye, time to work. The cold is going to kill them at some point, right? And I think it's just fair to say on the back of this one, the majority of people is just saying, get the fucking professionals in right now. You could be potentially at risk of creating a swarm inside your house, and you got cats as well. And man, I've had some bad experiences with wasps myself when I was younger. I told you the story of one of my friends when I was all about 10 years old, and this kid, he was a bit out there. That's the only thing I can say. And I told you all that we saw this low-level, massive wasp nest. Wow, I say massive. For me, it looked massive. It was like the size of a football, maybe times 2. We saw it and went about our day, but this friend went back and bagged it up in a black sack. Literally just put a black sack around it and had it over his shoulder came back round the area and chucked it on the floor. It was havoc around there for a while. And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with bagging the wasp nest up with a black sack. You know, those wasps were just doing their business over in that tree. I had nothing to do with them. They had nothing to do with me. But that's what happened around our area. Holy moly. But I tell you what, you know what else scares the shit out of me? Hornets. For me, I rarely see them in the UK, but when I do, oh my word, I shit my pants. The absolute size of these beefy so-and-sos. Couldn't imagine what it'd be like to get stung by one of those. But anyway, talking shit as usual. What do you guys make of today's stories? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly, you're absolutely amazing. Stay amazing. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.